What can we learn from 7 of the richest people in history? Pull up your chairs and get ready to go back in time for a history lesson. If you're an entrepreneur, it helps to look at people who have gone before you and learn from their mistakes and emulate their success. Big thanks to Money.com for figuring out who the richest people, they were all men who ever lived, were. In this week's 7 hacks, we'll take a closer look at them. Word of warning, some of them definitely had more money than sense. 1. Mansa Musa. This 14th century ruler of Mali, who lived from 1280 to 1337, was so rich that his wealth was indescribable. He inherited his kingdom after his brother sailed off to explore the Atlantic and was never seen again. Musa's empire stretched across much of what is now Senegal, Mauritania, Ivory Coast and the Gambia, and gave him unlimited access to gold. He was so flash he organised a pilgrimage to Mecca and took a caravan of 60,000 men. The royal court, officials and slaves all moved across the Sahara and through Cairo clad in gold and silk. He handed out gold on his travels, some say so much that it wrecked the Egyptian economy. The moral of the story here is, even when you're filthy rich, don't spend it like you are. 2. Zhao. Emperor Shenzong of Song, also known as Cao Zu, was a forward-thinking fella. He ruled China from 1067 until 1085. This guy controlled an incredible 30% of global GDP, worth more than 30 trillion today. But he genuinely cared about the people he ruled, and presided over his administration's new policies to help improve the lives of the poor. A very early middle-aged version of the welfare state. If all governments could be as compassionate as this man. 3. Akbar. Positive and enlightened. Akbar ruled over the Mughal Empire, which controlled most of the Indian subcontinent from 1556 until 1605. He wasn't short of a bob or two, controlling 25% of global GDP, $21 trillion in today's money. To ensure peace over such a vast area, he treated Muslims and non-Muslims the same, abolishing the sectarian tax on non-Muslims, and decreed Muslims and Hindus should be educated. The literature lover founded the library of Fatehpur Sikri exclusively for women and supported the arts. He is the perfect example of how lifting up those around you benefits the whole of society. On a smaller scale, apply this to the workforce. The more trained, educated and skilled your workers are, the better life is for everyone. 4. Augustus Caesar. Poor little rich boy Augustus was born into a wealthy family and was the great-nephew of Julius Caesar, and we all know what happened to him. Things were brighter for Augustus though, as he became the first Roman emperor, ruling from 27 BC until his death in AD 14. He boasted a personal fortune worth a whopping 4.63 trillion nowadays. He expanded the empire, but poor economic performance and a succession of military failures plagued his final years. The lessons to learn from him is choose your battles wisely and be content with your lot. World domination isn't all it's cracked up to be, Augustus. 5. John D. Rockefeller. A contemporary of our own Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller was born in 1839 and was also a philanthropist. As a youngster, he was trained to work, to save and to give. And boy did he just do that, making a 367 billion fortune mainly through oil. He created foundations to boost medicine, science and education. So next time you visit the top of the rock at New York's Rockefeller Center, give thanks for this incredible man whose philanthropy boosted a nation. 6. Andrew Carnegie. We're all familiar with this name, right? The philanthropist was born in Dunfermline in 1835 and immigrated to the US with his folks in 1848. Canny investments in bonds, bridges and railroad sleeping cars paid off before building up his own steel company. His wealth is estimated at 330 billion in today's money. But the most remarkable thing about him is he gave away 90% of his wealth before his death in 1919. Libraries, scientific research, education and world peace all benefited. And surely the peak for entertainers like Billie Holiday, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were playing at Carnegie Hall in New York. So what can we learn from him? Surely one of the most basic fundamentals of human existence. When you pop your clogs, you can't take your money with you, so you might as well do some good with it and create a lasting legacy for good while you can. 7. Nikolai Alexandrovich Romanov. Romanov was born in 1868 and was the last Tsar of the Russian Empire from 1894 until 1917. He met a bloody end though and was executed by the Bolsheviks in 1917. He had access to the riches of the nation and built a personal fortune of $300 billion in today's money. He presided over Russia as it crumbled from an economic and military powerhouse. Dreadful leadership during the First World War and starving subjects all contributed to his downfall, which just goes to show that one day you're cock of the walk and next day you're a feather duster. My takeaway from this: don't get complacent and be willing to accept advice and compromise. Did you enjoy our step back in time? Entrepreneurs need to be open-minded enough to accept when things are going wrong and confident to change their course when they have to. Sure, we aren't all going to make the rich list, but if we do, we need to learn lessons from the past.